Hey, this is Alan, and welcome to our new show, What It's Like to Drive. And today we're going to be talking about static lowering. 1, 2, 3. Hey guys, and welcome to What It's Like to Drive. Today we're going to be working on our first thing, which we've already spoke about. It's a statically lowered vehicle. So what is a statically lowered vehicle? A statically lowered vehicle, unlike a vehicle with airbags, is kind of like a vehicle that you get from the factory. The ride height of the vehicle is static. It doesn't go up or down. Now, you may say this has coilovers, so yeah, effectively it's dynamic. Well, it's dynamic, but the idea is I can't really set it on the fly. If I want to change it, I'll have to pull it over, I'll have to put it up on a lift, I may have to do some other things, and I can adjust the height accordingly. So effectively, sure, that's dynamic, but when it comes to road quality, the idea of static is pretty much the way it is. So the way you see it is the way it's going to drive exactly down the road, and that's, unless I change the settings, that's the way it's going to be. You can also see this with lowering springs. So effectively, if you have a lowering spring, you're kind of stuck in whatever ride height comes from the factory, and that's going to, go along with what things change based on your driving conditions. But today we're just going to focus on the coils, and we're going to focus on what happens when you lower your vehicle, especially kind of aggressive. This isn't crazy. You're going to see a lot of cars down the road that we're going to show you that have advanced camber, a lot of different things that are going to change ride handling greatly. So this is just one thing that we're going to go over today, and if you're wondering, yes, this is actually my personal car. I think if anything's going to be a guinea pig, that we should start off with my very own vehicle to do so. So strap in, guys, and we're going to take a ride. So hey guys, I'm in the driver's seat right now. I've been in this driver's seat actually a lot of times, so I'm kind of really used to how this car is going to handle. The beauty of once you put in coils like this is the first time you drive them, they really are stiff. So that's the thing is you got to get over that stiffness part of it, especially when it comes to a Hyundai Genesis, because this car is a lot heavier and the springs inside of it need to be a lot heavier too. So when we're driving, I have to have something that's really stiff at first, and after a while it kind of broke in and kind of the bounciness of it came out. For a normal ride, comparison wise, I'm hoping you're going to see this in the video, but it is a very stiff ride. It's literally like driving a race car. The car is a little bit tucked, it's very stiff, it's made to be in a way so if I take it on the track or if I take it on the street, they can do both things at once. Again, I can't really change up much with the car because I'm static. So the first thing you're probably going to ask is how much is something like this going to cost? Well, for me, I went with one company that was actually kind of inexpensive in comparison, but they were a company that's been proven, and they made race coilovers. So the kit for me cost me $1,250. To be honest, I forgot how much they cost to install it, but it wasn't very much. Placement for the changes and the way the suspension and handling are on for coils is really good. So that's the thing is they're put in a way that I can easily set them up or set them down. As you can probably see, I have it set at a really stiff setting because that's how I like it. The other thing is that you have to realize when you're driving this thing is that you're low. You're really low to the ground. I've actually hit little beams underneath it. Some people actually ride so low that they've hit their oil pans and broke their oil pans open. So when you're doing something like this, it's something that you want to consider. Vehicles like that would be very tough to drive. I have a very moderate lowing going on, so it's a little bit more comfortable for the driver. There's ways you can do it that it's really aggressive, and then it's like it becomes really difficult to drive and you may run into a lot of problems. As a general rule though, I haven't really lowered mine much beyond what you'd consider the legal limits. I've kept the vehicle so that it'll pass inspection, which is easy to do. In some states like Massachusetts, you can lower your vehicle up to 2 inches. And you may not think that's a lot, but when you look at it right now, this vehicle is probably about 1.75, and you can see it's fairly low to the ground. It still gives me about 2 to 2.5 inches of clearance, which means I don't have any problems with speed bumps or other things like that. A lot of the people, this is for really a driving setup. In other words, you plan on driving, not just doing shows. Other people will really slam it to the ground and they'll have a tough time getting over things. And again, that really goes to ride quality. If you're looking for a comfortable, non-noisy ride, this is probably not going to be your setup for it. Upkeep wise, I've done zero upkeep to it. Only thing I've done other than an APR kit is put all the stuff in for regular maintenance, so doesn't take a lot of maintenance. So it's one of those cars that'll happily do whatever I want it to do and continue to maintain the same level of maintenance because I really haven't done anything to the engine. The thing that I really need to point out too is even with the vehicle being 2 inches lower, I have an APR lip on the front of the car. I've actually changed the front bumper in this car 6 times. And that's been from different things like inclement weather, things being dropped on the highway that I've hit. And you can see right there, that was a hard hit. You might actually be able to hear that kind of bang noise. And that's the 2 rubber bushings just coming straight down on top of each other. But like I said, going through those things, I've actually replaced the bumpers 6 times on this vehicle. It's all been covered by insurance because it's never been my fault. I've never run into a situation where, you know, maybe something would have happened that the bumper was just low, like a speed bump or something like that. But again, that's the way I set it up. If I was really going to a show and I wanted to get crazy with it, I could really put this thing on the ground, and like I said, it would be quite the wake-up call for me after a while. Even driving it like this, I kind of, you get to a bump and you kind of squeeze up, and any kind of dirt or off-road driving like that is just impossible. So that's pretty much it for this car. I mean, all in all, I would give this a really high rating. Effectively for an aftermarket car, like a 7 or 8. For driving quality and things of that nature. I mean, it's something that anybody can do. The expense isn't that high. There's not a lot of maintenance involved in it. And the thing is it's kind of just fun. You can do other things to the car and worry about them versus worrying about your, lower to the ground coils. But again, it's going to be based on what you put into it and how you lower it. If you lower it all the way to the ground, chances are this would be like, I've had this thing really low and every bump and everything kind of rings out underneath it, especially with a Genesis that's very heavy. It could lower the quality of the ride down to a 5 or even worse. Do it in a way that could do permanent damage to the car. So that's it, guys. We're back at the fort and we showed you what it's like to own a statically lowered vehicle. This has been awesome. I can't wait to show you the next one. This isn't the last one. We're gonna have many more vehicles. We have a full schedule for this year of people who have volunteered their cars to show us different rides. I'm gonna go up and experience each one myself. I'm gonna relay to you what it's like to own each car. And so I hope you're gonna I hope you're gonna subscribe, I hope you're gonna hit that bell icon because I don't want you to be missing. Don't forget, we have some other videos over here, and don't forget, we're gonna tell you what it's like to drive.